What's up, everybody? My name is Parasite, and welcome back to Reimagining Manchester United. Today we will be playing the first game of the league season against Everton, and we're playing AC Milan in the UEFA Super Cup. Before we get into it, we did play one game. We had the FA Community Shield against Liverpool. We beat them 3-1. All three goals in the first half. Goals by Fernandez, Nicolas Schula in his debut, and Mason Greenwood. We were pretty dominant in that game. It was really good to see because Liverpool gave us a tough run-in last season. So if we can be that much better against Liverpool, even with some players out on international duty, that's pretty encouraging. If you look in terms of our team news, Anthony Martial is away on international duty with the France under-23s. And I'm pretty sure he's not even 23. He's 25 years old. Why is a 25-year-old Anthony Martial playing for the France under-23s? Come on, Football Manager. And a 24-year-old Richarlison is on international duty with the Brazil under-23s. Like, why are these players playing for their under-23 squads? They're full-fledged internationals. That doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe it happens in real life, but I don't know why it would. So, I don't know. But if you haven't seen the transfer video, the off-season video I did last time, I'll go through the transfers for you. Look at our transfer history. I think we have to go back to see the latest ones we did. We brought in Joshua Kimmich on a $100 million contract, or not a contract, but on a $100 million fee. A lot of money on a contract of $325K per week. So that's a lot of money for Joshua Kimmich, but I think he's going to be a world-class deep-line playmaker for us. I think he'll be worth the money. In terms of people that left, Alvaro Fernandez, a youngster, left. He had a little bit of potential. 3.5 stars of potential, but we got a deal of $15 million straight up for him, plus a 50% of sell-on, and a $25 million buyback clause. So I'm pretty sure if I buy him back with that $25 million, I get that 50% sale back to me. So I will have paid $12.5 million for a player that I sold for $15 million. So that's just free profit. Like, I could buy him back right now and make money on the deal. So I'm not going to do that. I'm only going to do it if he turns out to be a good player. But, I mean, I think that's just too good of a deal to turn down for me. Another youngster went out, Charlie Wellens, just a nothing youngster. I don't think he's ever going to turn into anything, so I got rid of him for cheap. Same for Zidane Iqbal. He went out for cheap. In terms of the new other signings, we signed Nicolas Schula, who you saw earlier, $58 million. He was on the transfer list. I've used him before, and he was extremely good. One of the best center backs I've ever used, so I had to bring him in. We definitely needed a center back. We tried to get David Alaba to be our libero, but he agreed a deal with, I don't remember where he went. Did he go to City? I think he went to Manchester City. That's actually a great signing for City because they can never get that left back position filled, and I think they're going to be set now. But I really wanted to get David Alaba. We even offered him like $100K more per week in wages, and he still chose Manchester City, who I believe finished like 3rd or 4th last season, and definitely didn't win the Champions League. So, yeah, it makes a lot more sense. Take less money for a team that's not as good. Like, I don't think David Alaba really thought that through. We also signed Patson Daka for $20 million. We needed a 4th striker / 5th striker. I think he's going to be our 4th striker. Obviously, we've got another guy coming in, Yusufa Mukoko. He's coming in the January 2nd, 2023. So we've got a couple more years till he comes in. So we needed somebody in that meantime. And I tried for a couple guys, but I ended up settling on Patson Daka. I think he'll be good here. He's got the pace I need for this tactic. He's a natural advanced forward, so I think he'll be good for us. He's already worth $25 million, so if I sell him on now, I could probably still get profit for him. Other players that left, another youngster, Mateo Mejia, just kind of a nothing youngster again. I sold him for $500,000, so that's pretty good. A guy that came in our youth intake, Miles Campbell, he just doesn't look like he would play in any position. Like, he's not in our scheme at least. Like, he's not a deep line playmaker on defend. He doesn't have the vision or the tackling. He's not a regista. He doesn't have the dribbling. He's not a Mazzala. He doesn't have the dribbling, the pace, or anything like that. He just doesn't look like a player that I would ever use, so I sold him on for a pretty good profit, $875K. Daniel James was something we agreed to last season. He left for $22.5 million to Lyon. A couple players leave on a free. Sergio Romero, Masney, a young goalkeeper, Charlie McCann, a young midfielder. Phil Jones left for $7.5 million to Feyenoord. He wanted to go. If we found a replacement, I agreed to sell him if we found a replacement for him, and that replacement is Nicolas Schula. I think we upgraded quite a bit. If you look at Phil Jones, he's got great technicals. His mentals just aren't quite there. And he's just, yeah, he's a 2-star player for us. So I think we upgraded for sure. We also sold Nemanja Matic for $6 million to Ajax. I had gotten an offer of $7.5 million for him, but he rejected the contract. He finally agreed to go to Ajax. So I got a little bit of money for him. He wouldn't have played in my team at all. I had no room for him in the team. He would have been like a third/fourth deep lying playmaker. So I also sold Jesse Lingard for $7.5 million to Crystal Palace. He's valued at double that now, but he's just not very good, and he doesn't really play anywhere for me. If he did play, he'd be a Mazzala on attack, but he's not perfect there. He doesn't have any vision, doesn't have composure, doesn't have good decision making, not the best dribbler. He's got good physical attributes, but good off the ball, good work rate, good teamwork, but I didn't need him. I had other players to fill that position. Andreas Pereira is going to be our fifth Mazzala this season, so I didn't need Lingard. And a couple other youngsters went out on loan. Those are all the transfers we did. So our squad looks like this. We are still, obviously, we're missing Martial. Camavinga is out for the France under-23s as well. So I won't have him for this first game. So Mason Greenwood's going to start, and Donny van de Beek's going to start at deep line playmaker on defend, because Shaw's injured, and Joshua Kimmich is tired. So I'm not going to start Kimmich this game, even though he's our starter at deep line playmaker on defend. Don't want to overdo it. So I'm going to give him the rest because he just came back from international duty. So I won't start him. If I need him to come on, I will. But I'm starting Donny van de Beek this game. He's not the best deep line playmaker on defend, but he can do a job. Shula starts on the right. Bailly starts in the middle as a covering central defender. And otherwise, it's pretty much the same squad you expected from last season. Obviously, for this season, the only change is Nicolas Sula for this game. But obviously, this season, we only have 7 subs instead of 9. So that's kind of disappointing, because I really enjoyed having 9 subs. But that just means the goalkeeper won't be on the bench, and I'll only have 1 fullback on the bench. That's the only things that changed for me. I think that's okay. Brandon Williams can play both sides, and if we need to, Dalot can play both sides. So we've got plenty of depth there. But let's get into the game. First game of the season against Everton. We are projected to win the league, I believe. If I get to the Premier League in our season preview, we're actually second now. We were projected to win the league, but now we're second. 11-4 odds. Man City are favorites to win the league, probably because they have David Alaba. Even though it says in their projected lineup, Felipe Jonathan, who's actually pretty dang good. They signed this guy from Santos for $16 million. Yeah, he's really freaking good. I've never heard of this guy before, but yeah, he looks good. I don't know if he's better than Alaba. Alaba's in the Dream 11, but he's not in their projected starting 11. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, he is at center back. Okay. So our best 11, it says Dalot at left back. That's definitely not going to happen. Lindelof, Shula, and Maguire. I'm definitely not doing that. Pogba, Fernandez, Van de Beek, Martial, Rashford. Mostly it's right. Everton are projected to finish 9th this season, so we should be able to beat Everton. Projected to finish that 7th. They're projected to finish 9th. We have Fernandez in the best 11, and that's our only player, and Kimmich at right back, even though he's going to be playing midfielder for us. So in the Dream 11, we have 2 players. But let's get right into this game. Let's take on Everton. Let's see if we can start off this season on a good note. I'm going to say we're favorites for a reason. Go out there and make sure there's no doubt as to why. Then I'll give the defense some faith, and everyone else is motivated, so I'm going to go into the game. It's never ideal to lose a player to international duty, of course, but is it perhaps easier when Anthony Martial misses out on what many people consider a more comfortable match for Manchester United? There's no such thing as an easy match, and to be disrespectful to Everton to suggest that. They're still a good team. Rashford is set to make his 175th league appearance for the club today. Just how much does he mean to everyone here? I'm delighted for him. He's a wonderful player and a fine example of the sort of person we want at this football club. Hopefully Rashford's going to be our starting striker for his whole career. I don't think we're ever going to need to upgrade him. He was so good last season. So was Martial. I think our strikers are going to be absolutely set for the future. Between Rashford, Martial, Greenwood, and Yusufa Moukoko, yeah, I think we're going to be... I mean, Rashford might not actually be our starting goalkeeper starting striker now that I think of it, because Mason Greenwood has a lot of potential, and Yusufa Moukoko obviously has the most potential in the game, tied with Eduardo Camavinga. So those two might end up being the 2 starting strikers, but Rashford's going to be one of the best backups in the world if he doesn't, ask to be sold because he was not getting first team football. I don't know. That's something we'll have to deal with down the line. We've got the ball here down the right-hand side with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Pulls it back from Mason Greenwood. Falls to Paul Pogba. And Paul Pogba gets the first goal of the season. 3 minutes into the game, we find our first goal of the new season. And it's Paul Pogba, who ended the season on a great stretch last season. And he started off just as good this season. I'm hoping Pogba can be an influential player for us. He didn't start the season well last year, but like I said, he ended it in an amazing form. So hopefully he continues that into the next league season. We have a corner here in the 9th minute, put in towards Shula. Shula is our main target this season. It was Maguire last season, but I think Shula is a little bit better in the air than Maguire is, so he's going to be my main target this season. But having him and Maguire as targets on those corners and free kicks is going to be amazing. We have so much potential for headed goals from set pieces that I think we're going to be scoring a lot of different ways this season. Bruno Fernandez looking for Greenwood, and he finds a header down in Pogba, who gets it out to Tellez. I'm still not sure who I'm going to be starting between Tellez and Luke Shaw. Tellez starts this game because Shaw is injured, but they both played pretty well last season. I came into this series thinking Tellez was going to be the starter, but if Luke Shaw plays well, plays like he does in real life, then he's going to earn that starting job. But it'll just come down to form. I think both of them are pretty even in their attributes. I mean, obviously Tellez is way better going forward. Shaw's way better defensively, but Shaw's pretty well-rounded. He can go forward and do things too, and that is a goal from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. A nice ball in from Tom Davies, and Calvert-Lewin heads it onto the far post, and we are 1-1 after 25 minutes. That's disappointing. It feels like their very first attack of the game. Moise Keane puts it into Davies, who, I don't know, who's he beat there? Who's he beat to the header? Shula, of all players. You think Shula would win a header against Calvert-Lewin? That's very disappointing for Nicolas Shula. He's got to be winning that. That is literally their first shot of the game. Of course it is. Pogba with a header on. Falls to Greenwood. He heads it over. We have looked very threatening this game. 8 shots. Only 3 on target, though. We have not been good enough in front of target, or in front of goal, getting our shots on target, but they scored their only goal of the game. They have .06 XG, but they have a goal because of course they do. That is Football Manager. Maguire with the ball here. Puts it out to Wan-Bissaka, who was really good for us last season, but he might eventually lose his job to Joshua Kimmich. It's kind of a wait-and-see process. See how Camavinga develops. If Camavinga becomes a must-start player, then Kimmich will move to the right back position. We've got the ball here with Van de Beek, into Maguire, back into Van de Beek, over to Tellez, but barely gets there before the defender does, or before Iwobi does. He finds the ball back to Pogba, back to Tellez. He's got great crossing. He finds Greenwood, but he hits it and hits the defender, but it falls to Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford with the assist from Mason Greenwood, not an intentional assist. His shot was deflected and it fell to Rashford. But we go up 2-1 no matter. We are 2-1 up after 38 minutes. I'm hoping we can be solid defensively again this season. David De Gea only allowed 9 goals all of last season. He didn't play every single game. He only played he made 26 starts, something like that, 28 starts. But still, only 9 goals and 28 starts is ridiculous. So hopefully he can keep that into this season. I'm going to say I'm not happy. We've not looked very... I mean, they've scored their only shot. That's kind of unlucky, but also Shula didn't do well enough. Shula's got to do better there. He's got to win that header. That's what he's literally paid to do. He's paid to win headers. He's a pretty good, just normal defender, but he's mainly paid for his aerial ability. Getting goals from set pieces and stopping goals from their set pieces and their crosses. Maguire there heads one out to Greenwood, who heads it on to no one, but he's going to run onto it. He's going to run onto his own header. He's going to be basically through on goal. He's got a defender between him and the goal, but he fires it easily at Pickford. Easy save for Pickford. Have another highlight here in the 61st minute. We have the ball with Harry Maguire. Back to Bailly. Into Bruno Fernandez. Over the top for Greenwood, and Greenwood's 1-on-1, and Greenwood hits it at the goalkeeper. It gets saved, and Rashford cannot get on the end of it. It is a corner, though. We have a chance from the corner. Like I said, we are very dangerous from corners. Aim for Shula and Maguire. Maguire gets it, but he heads it. He doesn't win the header. Falls back to Pogba. Pogba with a chance to whip it in. Running down this left-hand side, but he gets it stolen by John Joe Kinney. Into Iwobi, and that's the end of the highlight. We have been pretty impressive this game. We've 14 shots, 7 on target. But we're only up 2-1. I'm not going to take Bruno Fernandez off or Pogba just yet. I need to get another goal before I'm willing to take them off. Might take off Donny van de Beek. I'm actually going to go a little bit more defensive. I am playing the more defensive tactic this game because, I got to respect Everton. You don't know what kind of form they're going to be in this season. Going to bring in McTominay as a defensive midfielder. I think that's the only change I'm going to make. I want Wan-Bissaka on the pitch because he's so good defensively. I could bring on Kimmich at right back, but I think Wan-Bissaka is better defensively than Joshua Kimmich is, so no one's really having a bad game other than Eric Bailly. That central defender, I just cannot have him have a good rating. He never has a good rating. I don't know what it is. I'm going to keep him in, though. It's not really his fault. I think it's the position more than anything. Tellez has gotten injured, so we need to take him off. Going to bring on Brandon Williams at left back. Other than that, I guess I'll take off one of Bruno Fernandez or Fernandez is on a yellow. I'll take him off. If they score a goal now, I don't think we have enough time to come back, peg him back. So bring on Fred. I'll look to time waste, but there is a highlight right before I get to do that. I'm going to set the time waste anyways. Hopefully they don't score this free kick. Who's over it? That is Digne and Sigurdsson. Oh, wait, I didn't hit play. Okay. I was wondering why it wasn't going, but Digne over the ball. Puts in the free kick, and of course he scores. So I'm not going to time waste. That's frustrating. They have not been very good at all this game, but of course they have the lead. I don't want to play McTominay as a regista. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have any more subs. I guess I'll play Pogba as a regista. Play McTominay as a box-to-box midfielder. And Fred is the Mazzala. I think that's my best option. McTominay can get into the box. Maybe he can win some headers. I think that's what I'm going to have to do. I can't switch to a 4-2-3-1 because I don't have the second winger for it. I have 3 center backs. I can't play any of them anywhere else. Like Maguire, Bailly, and Sula can only play center back. So I have to stick with this formation. We've only got 4 minutes left. I doubt anything's going to change. I'm going to go very attacking. I'm going to go fully direct, shoot on sight, be more expressive, not play out of defense. Take long kicks over the defense, distribute quickly, push all the way up. See if we can get this goal in the 4 minutes. Of course, they've fully gotten a completely undeserved goal. They do not deserve to have... They don't even deserve 1 goal from this game. And they have 2. Like, I doubt they have 1 XG. Let's see what their XG is. 0.4. So, of course, they have 2 goals. That makes a lot of sense, Football Manager. They definitely should have 2 goals from 0.4 XG. Just one of those games where the other team does absolutely nothing, but scores 2 lucky goals. Look at their XG for these goals. Like, that's like 0.06 XG, I'm pretty sure, for their first goal, and then like 0.1 XG for their second goal. That is so dumb. I hate this game sometimes. Good gosh. We definitely didn't deserve to draw that game. I'm going to thrash my arms, say I expect to see you in training. That's not good enough. You can't draw with a 9th place Everton in the first game of the season. Mason Greenwood was awful. He'll have better days. Hopefully this sort of thing doesn't become a regular occurrence. Why did you persist with Eric Bailly when it was clear to all? I don't care. None of their business. I make player decisions. No player I would have brought in there would have changed anything. Moving anyone to center back at that point wasn't going to change anything in the game. Like, I needed to get substitutions to be a little bit more defensive, but then when I had to score, I was out of substitutes already, so there was nothing I could do. Tellez is out 4 to 10 days. He won't be back I don't think Shaw will be back either. So that's disappointing. We won't have either for the Milan game. But I'll see you second for the AC Milan game in the UEFA Super Cup. And we are back on the day of the UEFA Super Cup against AC Milan. This is the squad I'm going to go with. Joshua Kimmich comes back into the side as the deep lying playmaker on defend. That's where I'm hoping to play him all season. Brandon Williams has to come in at left back because both Tellez and Luke Shaw are not recommended to be selected for this match. Both failed a fitness test. Shaw's not even ready for a fitness test. So Williams has kind of had to play left back. Martial comes back into the side. He comes back from under 23s for whatever reason. So he's going to take Greenwood's spot. Greenwood actually played a little bit better than I realized last game. He got both assists, so I mean that's pretty good. And one of them definitely wasn't intentional, but he gets credited for both assists. So he had a better game. He just wasn't very good in front of goal. Obviously, neither him or Rashford were very good in front of goal. Rashford did get one goal, but that was again pretty lucky. A ball just bounced off and fell right to him, and he kind of had to put it in the back of the net. Camavinga is also back from international duty, so he's ready to be a backup deep line playmaker. But this is the squad I'm going to go with. I really want to win the UEFA Super Cup. I want to see how many trophies we can win this season. I'm hoping this might be the last season of the save. If we can win the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Champions League, and the league all this season, the UEFA Super Cup and all those other cups aren't, the FIFA Club World Cup, those really aren't required. That'd be nice. I'd like to win as many trophies as possible, but I really just am gunning for those four. Let's see how this game goes. Hopefully we can win the UEFA Super Cup. We should be better than AC Milan, but they did win the Europa League, so they're obviously a good team. Let's get into the game. I'm going to say, I don't think this is going to work, but I'm going to say win this trophy for yourselves, but also for the fans. They've been magnificent and deserve success. Yeah, they didn't really motivate anyone. But faith works better than anything else. Give them all faith. They're okay in terms of motivation. You can make a real statement about your intentions in this match and go on the attack from the first whistle. How you approach this game, I'll take whatever gives us the bigger chance of winning. We're going with a more defensive tactic. How valuable is Joshua Kimmich's versatility to your plans? He's a brilliant player, and we're so much better for having him. He could be a very key player for us this season. And he's already wearing red, so he fits in with the rest of the squad. So does Shula, so they fit right in. This AC Milan side, they're still playing Ibrahimovic up top, and they have Barkley at attacking mid, Bernardeschi on the right. So they've made a little bit of changes in their team. Barkley is kind of a weird one, but okay. Wan-Bissaka's already injured. That's great. It's a great way to start the game. We have one shot in the first 10 minutes. Not been a very impressive game from us so far. Obviously, that's a pretty strong squad from AC Milan. They've got a lot of good players in there. Çalhanoğlu, especially from free kicks, and he puts it into Kessie, but Kessie just puts it wide. That was the best attack, most dangerous shot of the game all season, but it didn't count as a shot. It must have been off of our player. Now, Brandon Williams is also injured. So our fullbacks are dropping like flies. That's not great. They have the ball out here to Teo Hernandez. Looks to put it in for Ibra, but Bailly wins it. Falls to Sailmakers. I think that's how you say it. Into Bernardeschi, who's injured. He must have got injured. One of our fullbacks got injured. Rashford with the ball now. Running down this left-hand side. Plays it through to Martial. Hoping to see good things from Martial this season. And it looks like he's won a penalty from the Englishman, Tomori. The Englishman playing in Italy has given away a penalty. And we should be able to get a penalty kick and take the lead at the 28th minute, and it is a penalty. Bruno Fernandez, of course, will take the penalty. He's got 19 in penalty taking, so I would hope he'd be able to score this. And he does. A nicely placed penalty into the bottom right-hand corner. His second goal of the season. And we have gotten off to a lead in the UEFA Super Cup after 29 minutes. Nicely placed finish. Perfectly placed. Keeper's never getting to that. Unless he dives before he even kicks it. He's not getting to that. Good start to the game. It looks like we're going to go into halftime at 1-0. We have not really gotten off to the best start. Like all of our XG is just from that penalty, so we haven't really done much other than have the penalty. AC Milan looking to go on an attack here from Barkley into Sailmakers, who beats Williams. Takes a shot, but he hits the post, I think. So he hit the outside of the post and went behind. We kind of let off there because he completely toasted Williams, who's struggling a little bit with that injury. Hopefully he'll be all right to finish out the match because we only have one fullback substitution. I guess Kimmich can play at fullback, so we kind of have two. That was a terrible shot by Rashford. Yeah, Bissaka is dead, so he's going to have to come off at some point in this game. Luckily, we've got enough players that can play left back that we should be okay. Not a classic so far. Only 6 shots total in the game. But we're ahead, so I'm going to say we got to guard against complacency now. Don't think the job is done. Bruno is upset by that for whatever reason. I'm telling him I'm very happy with him so far. He's obviously given us the lead. He hasn't really done much otherwise because he's only on a 6.9 when he has a goal. That's not great. Now he's on a 7, but He is on a yellow card too, so he might have to come off sometime in this game. Bisaka is already dead, so I'm going to have to take him off sooner rather than later. I'm going to do it now. Going to bring on Diogo Dalot. Or is it Dalot or Dallo? I don't know if you pronounce the T or not, but it's one of those. Teo Hernandez with the ball now. Pretty sure it's Teo, not Theo, because he's French/Spanish. And Zlatan scores a goal. Because of course he does. It's freaking Zlatan Ibrahimovic. He will not be denied. And AC Milan have equaled it after 70 minutes. We don't deserve to be winning this game, so this is probably a fair result. Hernandez gets it taken off his foot, but he finds Kessie with a ridiculous pass to Ibrahimovic. And De Gea almost gets there, but Ibrahimovic puts it just underneath his arms. And we have the XG advantage, but that's, like I said, it's all because of the penalty. Like, if we didn't have that penalty, we'd have the same XG as AC Milan right now. So we definitely don't deserve to be leading this game. We have not been very impressive. I would have expected much better against an AC Milan side that's good, but probably not, the best in Italy. Obviously, Inter are probably much better. Juventus are probably much better. So they might be the third best team in Italy. We should be able to beat the third best team in Italy if we're trying to be the best team in the Premier League. Pogba's been awful this game. So is Martial. So is Kimmich, really. That's disappointing. So is Harry Maguire. So many players have been absolutely terrible. I think we have quite a few subs since it's a UEFA Super Cup match. So I'm going to take off Martial. I'm going to bring on Mason Greenwood. I'm going to take off Pogba. I'm going to bring on Donny van de Beek. I don't really want to take off Joshua Kimmich. I don't really want to take off Maguire because he's got potential from headers. So I'm just going to make those subs for now. I think it'll go into extra time. Wait, do I want to... Actually, let me cancel that. Are any of those very good penalty takers? What's Pogba's penalty taking? I don't want to take off a really good penalty taker if it's going to go to penalties. He has 15 penalty taking. That's pretty good. What does Van de Beek have? 11. So I don't think I'm going to bring off Pogba. I need to keep my good penalty takers on the pitch. Martial is also a pretty good penalty taker. 15 finishing. I think Mason Greenwood's also pretty good, though. 12, not as good. 17 finishing, though. And 16 composure. Oh, he's so freaking good. I think we're going to... Is it extra time? That's actually a good question. Let me go and check, see if it goes into extra time. Or if it's just straight to penalties. Straight to penalties, I'm not going to take them off. If we have a chance of extra time, I'm going to bring on Mason Greenwood. Rules, extra time played, scores are level after 90 minutes. Penalty shootouts, scores are still level, so it will be extra time. So I'm going to bring in Mason Greenwood for Martial. Nope, for Martial. How good's Rashford at penalty taking? 16, so he's even better than Martial, so I'm going to keep him on. Greenwood's going to come on. Pogba's going to stay on. Never taking Bruno Fernandez off. Is Kimmich a very good penalty taker? 12, that's not bad. It's probably better than any other wingback I've got, or better than Camavinga at least. Camavinga has 7, so I'm not going to bring Camavinga on. Those are the only subs I'm going to make. Our best penalty takers are on the pitch. I mean, preferably I'd not like to have this not go to penalties. I'd like to, finish this in regular time, but I'm not going to put all my eggs into the regular time basket. If they score a goal, then I'm going to have to bring on some bigger guns, but I won't care about penalties. So hopefully we have a chance to finish this before it even goes to extra time. Shula with the ball, playing it out to Dalot, or Dalot, I think it's Dalot. Puts a lob ball over the top, looking for Rashford, but it gets cleared out to Benasser, to Çalhanoğlu, to Rebic. Rebic running at Dalot, but he makes a sliding tackle, but it still falls to Rebic. Into Calabria. Over to Castillejo, and he's on a lot of space, but he heads it over. Let off the hook a little bit there. I'm going to demand more from this team. They have not been good enough this game. A lot of tired players, but I think they give us the best chance of winning, whether it be in penalties or regular time. Nice ball into Greenwood. Greenwood with the chance. He tries to chip the keeper, but Donnarumma gets there. Obviously, Donnarumma is a brilliant goalkeeper, so you don't really expect to beat him from there. That would have been ridiculous if he would have scored that. I've been goal of the season already. Williams with a throw-in. Finds Paul Pogba. Back into Williams. Unfortunately, we have a right footer on the left-hand side, but all of our left backs are injured. into Kimmich, back to Williams, but it gets cut out by Castillejo. Finds the ball into Çalhanoğlu. He's going to run up the defense. He's in a lot of space, but Pogba gets back into Sailmakers. Pogba makes a tackle, but it falls to Çalhanoğlu, into Benacer, into Sailmakers, back to Çalhanoğlu, into Benacer, into Kessie. They've looked like the more dangerous team this half. Calabria with the ball now. In a lot of space on this left-hand side. Pulls it back to Kessie, and that is halftime, or that's full time. We have the XG, but like I said, pretty much all of that is from the penalty. If we didn't have the penalty, the XG would be very similar. We have a little bit on possession, but we have not been good enough. I'm going to thrash my arms, say I'm far from pleased. Definitely not good enough. Hopefully we can score in extra time. I don't really want this to go to penalties. We have good penalty takers, but I don't want to, completely rely on penalties. Our tired players are just going to have to play. I need good penalty takers on the pitch. Like, we're not doing anything in extra time. It's already halftime, and we're not scoring. Do I have a better center back at taking penalties than Harry Maguire? Because I don't think he's going to do anything for us. He only has 5 penalty takings. Surely McTominay's better. 7, not much better. What about Lindelof? 10. Tuanzebe? 9. What's his finishing? 5. Lindelof has 7 finishing. I'm going to bring on Victor Lindelof for Harry Maguire. I'm going to go full penalty takers. What's Dalot's penalty taking? It's actually pretty good. 12. What about Williams? 6. That's not very good. Camavinga's is much better, though. 7. What's Donny van de Beek's? 11. Yeah, 11. 7 for Fred. I'm going to move Dalot to Williams' spot. I'm going to bring on Kimmich as our right wing back. I'm going to bring on Van de Beek as a deep line playmaker. I'm actually going to switch to more attacking tactics. I want to see if we can score a goal. So that's what I'm going to go with. Those are the changes I'm going to make. Was Passendak a very good penalty taker? No, not at all. I think those are our best penalty takers. I think David De Gea is our best, shot stopper. So I'm not going to bring on Dean Henderson. I think this is what gives us the best chance of winning. Let's look to play out the game. See if we can get a goal in extra time. If not, see if we can win a penalty shootout against AC Milan. It's looking like it's going to go to penalties, but we have a highlight here. But it's AC Milan with the ball. They have had the ball all this second half. We have not done anything. I don't know if we've got a single highlight since the second half started. Bailly heads it out, but only as far as Calabria. Nice ball into Rebic. I think it's onside. He's going to pull it back to Calabria, back to Kessie, into Çalhanoğlu, who seems like everything's gone through Çalhanoğlu so far this game. And Kessie. Kessie finds the ball to Rebic, and he is offside. Again, we are let off the hook by an offside decision. Well, first time for an offside decision, but again, we were left off the hook, and I think it said Ibrahimovic was offside. So Rebic wasn't even offside, but Ibra was, they think he was in the way of the keeper. Let's see this again, because he looked pretty far out. No, I think Rebic is offside. Yeah, because Ibra's nowhere near the keeper, so it has to be Rebic. Looks like we're going to go to penalties. Our players are going to be absolutely dead for next game. That's not great, but Kimmich will be the next penalty taker. I have to do it this way, because can't drag him for whatever reason. Actually, Greenwood's a better penalty taker. Let's swap him and Kimmich if I can. There we go. Then Dalot, then Van de Beek. Then Lindelof and Schula. Then Bailly. And David De Gea. We're pretty good at penalties. Our first 5 all have 12 or more. Our first 6 all have 12 or more. That's pretty good, with our tops having 19 and 16 and then 15. I think it's going to... Hopefully Pogba doesn't miss his penalty. Then if he misses that penalty, and I kept him on just to take that penalty pretty much, I'll be very disappointed. They're already calm ahead of the penalty shootout. Say don't live to regret this moment. And then I'll talk to the individuals. Bailly, Wan-Bissaka... Wait, Wan-Bissaka's not even on the pitch, is he? No. I won't talk to Wan-Bissaka. Martial. Van de Beek. Is William Wan-Bissaka on the pitch? Let me select him. Usually won't select them if they're not on the pitch. Everyone else is positive. So I have faith. Kessie's going to take the first penalty. First penalty for AC Milan. Usually the first penalty takers have an advantage. Hopefully that won't be the case this game. Bruno Fernandez to take the second penalty. Should score it. He's got 19 penalty taking, and it's a nice finish for Bruno Fernandez. Obviously, two very good goalkeepers too, so this isn't going to be easy. Ibra to take the next penalty, and it's good. He scores it, puts it past De Gea. Rashford, another very good penalty taker, kept him on the pitch just to take this penalty, pretty much. Didn't really have too many options, but he scores. It is 2-2. Çalhanoğlu to take the next. Surely he's a good penalty taker. He's a good set-piece guy, so surely he's probably good at penalties too. He scores. De Gea gets nowhere near it. Pogba, like I said earlier, I kept him on just to take this penalty. He is absolutely dead. But hopefully that doesn't matter. He scores. It is 3-3. No one is missing penalties. They have Romagnoli, the first center back to take a penalty. This is the first position where I feel like maybe we can make a save. But no, Romagnoli finds the back of the net. De Gea can't make the save. Mason Greenwood to take this penalty. He's got very good composure. See if it matters. He scores. It is 4-4. Will this penalty shootout ever end? Who knows? Castillejo to take the next. Another left footer. And he goes down the middle, and he gets saved by David De Gea. And now we have a chance to win the penalty shootout and win the UEFA Super Cup. I don't remember who's next. It is Joshua Kimmich, our $100 million signing. This is where he justifies that price tag and wins us the UEFA Super Cup. Come on, Joshua. He's got good composure, and he finds the back of the net. We win the penalty shootout, and we win the UEFA Super Cup for our second trophy of the season already. With another, 5 to go? Got the Carabao Cup, the FA Cup, the Premier League, the Champions League, and the FIFA Club World Cup. So we can win another 5 trophies. If we win everything, we could win 7 trophies on the season. That would be the perfect ending to the series. We could win 7 trophies. Obviously, this might not be a very long series. Depends on how long it takes us to win the Carabao Cup and everything else. But it was a good win. I'm going to say we got away with that today. You were poor out there. We need to be much better when we come up against better sides. We were not good enough. We did not play that well. It wasn't even a fully undeserved draw. It was a fully deserved draw. We were not good enough to win that game. Neither really were AC Milan, but penalties is probably fair. We're probably fair to win it in those penalty shootouts because we probably, if any team was a little bit better, it was us, but it wasn't by much. Kimmich makes his debut. Bunch of medals. Let's see where we're going to come back to next. Man City, Tottenham, Chelsea. Wow. That is a terrible October. Man City, Tottenham, who were pretty bad last year, so that might not be huge, but Chelsea, Liverpool. That is about as hard of a month as you can possibly get. The only top, 5-6 team you don't get is Arsenal. They come in December. So I guess I'll come back for 2 of those games. I'm not sure which ones. We'll see who's the highest in the table at that point. Chelsea have not started well. They're in 18th. Tottenham have actually started really well, so it might be Man City, Tottenham. We'll see. It's going to be 2 of those 4 games. I'll see you then. Thank you all for joining me. If you've made it this far, why don't you like the video, subscribe, and click the bell. The links to all my socials are also in the description. I really appreciate all your support, and I'll see you later.